చాలా చిన్న టాపిక్. Good morning, students. Today I will discuss with benign tumor lipoma. So what is lipoma? It is nothing but defined as a benign tumor arising from the mature fat cells. So it is defined as a benign tumor arising from mature adipose tissue. Okay. So usually lipoma is composed of mature adipocytes and uniform nuclei which are identical to those seen in the normal adult fat. That is without any cellular atypia. Okay. The fat in the lipoma is considered unavailable for the general metabolism. So lipoma is usually defined as the benign tumor arising from the mature adipose tissue. See, skin with subcutaneous fat cells underneath the muscle layer in this well encapsulated. So with fibrous capsule, the lipoma, benign tumor, it is well encapsulated. Really, lipoma is the most common benign tumor and its prevalence is 1% in the general population. Most common at the age group of 40 to 60 years, frequent in females. Why it is called universal tumor? Since it can occur anywhere in the body except the brain where the fat cells are absent, also called as ubiquitous tumor. Okay, it is also called as universal tumor or ubiquitous tumor. Remember, lipomas never turn to malignant. One type of classification, these lipomas are divided into localized and diffuse forms. So it is divided to localized or encapsulated tumor. Second one is diffuse type non-encapsulated tumors. So in case of this diffuse lipomas, these are it's not encapsulated and they are not localized. Most common areas, the diffuse lipomas that are present are palms, sole, head and neck. Usually seen in the subcutaneous plane and intermuscular tissues. It is very difficult to remove surgically, hence there is a chance for high recurrence. Okay, the lipomas can be divided into two types, localized or encapsulated, or second type is the diffuse or non-encapsulated. These diffuse non-encapsulated forms, they are not localized, present most commonly in palm, sole, head and neck. So it is very difficult to remove surgically, hence the recurrence rate will be high in case of diffuse type of lipomas. See, this is the diagrammatic representation of a localized lipoma. Single localized lipoma. See, this is a case with multiple lipomas. Each one is well encapsulated, multiple lipomas. This is second type of lipoma called diffuse lipoma. Most common areas that are present, as I told before, palm, sole, neck, head region. So this is the diffuse type of lipoma over the sole, where the recurrence rate is high. Another type of classification in lipoma, it can be divided into superficial and deep. What are superficial lipomas? Subcutaneous lipomas. These are the most common type of lipoma, commonly present in subcutaneous plane The most common sites that are present over back, neck, proximal extremities and abdomen. Usually these are small tumors less than 5 centimeters. So once again, I will repeat this: superficial lipomas. These are the most common type of lipomas compared to the deep lipomas. Commonly present in subcutaneous plane, seen on back, neck, proximal extremities and abdomen. Usually measures less than 5 centimeters. These deep lipomas, deep-seated lipomas, commonly seen in type like intramuscular, but oftenly may be seen in intermuscular plane also. Commonly present over lower limbs, constituting of about 45%, and over trunk 17%, over shoulder and upper limb. See, in these deep lipomas can attain the large size compared to the superficial lipomas. Greater than 5 centimeters, they can extend beyond that. So these deep lipomas are commonly seen in intramuscular plane, but oftenly may be present in intermuscular plane, common in lower limbs, trunk, shoulder and upper limb, attaining the larger size greater than 5 centimeter compared to the superficial lipomas. So till now, two types of classification. One is localized and diffuse type. The next type of classification is superficial and deep. Coming to the anatomical sites of lipoma, depending on the plane, these are classified. So these lipomas can be classified as subcutaneous, subfacial, intermuscular, intramuscular plane, paraosteal, subperiosteal plane, subsynovial plane, intra-articular, subserous, subperitoneal, subpleural, subpericardial, extradural, spinal tumors, submucous plane, and intraglandular type seen in breast, pancreas, under renal capsule, salivary glands, etc. So once again, I am repeating all these types. These are classified depending on the plane: subcutaneous plane, subfacial, intermuscular, intramuscular, paraosteal, subperiosteal, subsynovial, intraarticular, subserous, subperitoneal, subpleural, subpericardial, extradural, submucous, intraglandular plane. So individually, subcutaneous lipoma means a lipoma arising in the subcutaneous tissue plane. Subfacial lipomas, these are arised from the fat cells which lies deep to deep fascia. Intramuscular type, in this type lipomas arise from the fat cells which lie in between the muscle fibers, hence called intramuscular. Subserous type, lipoma arising from the fat cells which lie in the subserous plane of the gut. Submucous, so lipomas arising from the fat cells lying in the submucosal layer of respiratory system and the gastrointestinal tract. Subsynovial type, in these the lipomas arise from the fat cells lying deep to the synovial membrane, usually the membrane lining the joint. Okay, deep to the synovial membrane lining the joint called subsynovial type of lipoma. What is parosteal? So in this, the lipomas arise from the fat cells lying deep to the periosteal lining of the bone. It is intra-articular. The fat cells, the lipomas arising from the fat cells lining which lies within the joint called intra-articular type of lipomas. Next, the extradural type. In these, lipomas arise from the fat cells lying in the extradural space in the spinal canal. The intracranial extradural lipoma does not occur as there is no fat cells in the cranial cavity. Okay. Intraglandular type of lipomas. In these, the lipomas arising from the fat cells lying within the gland. As I discussed before, like breast, salivary glands, renal capsule, etc., pancreas, etc. Coming to clinical features in lipoma. Localized swelling with a lobular surface. Usually lipomas are non-tender except the type angiolipoma. So these are localized swellings with well encapsulated, which is lobular surface with lobular surface. Most of the lipomas are non-tender except the angiolipoma type. Very oftenly fluctuant like feel, but actually not, because the fat in the body temperature remains soft, called pseudo fluctuation. Usually lipomas are non-transilluminate. Lipoma usually mobile with edges slipping beneath the palpating fingers, called slip sign, one of the important pathognomic. Skin is free from the lipoma. So localized swelling with lobular surface, usually non-tender, very oftenly fluctuant, non-transilluminant, skin is free, mobile with slip sign. Most, as I discussed before, it is most common in the adults of age group of 40 to 60 years, frequently in females, but very rare in children, they can occur. So sometimes pain can occur in the lipoma. What might be the reasons? Maybe due to trauma or fat necrosis. The trunk is the most common site for lipoma. Next, nape of the neck and limbs are the next common sites. So the trunk is the most common site for the occurrence of the benign tumor lipomas. Next common type are over the nape of the neck and the limbs. As I discussed before, it might be a single or multiple, localized or diffuse, superficial or deep types. Coming to differential diagnosis, neurofibroma, dermoid, sebaceous cyst, liposarcoma, and other soft tissue tumors like rhabdomyoma. So in neurofibroma, it moves horizontally but not longitudinally along the line of the nerve. And moreover, these neurofibromas are firmer in consistency. Okay, they move only horizontally but not longitudinally along the line of the nerve. So compared to the sebaceous cyst, the presence of punctum, skin over the swelling cannot be pinchable in case of sebaceous cyst. Similarly, in case of dermoid, usually freely mobile, well circumscribed, non-transilluminant, fluctuation test can be positive. Liposarcoma, So all the lipomas are benign. Large lipomas should be differentiated from liposarcoma. About liposarcoma, I will discuss in the later slides. So other DDs for lipoma are other soft tissue tumors like rhabdomyoma. It can be clinically diagnosed with the presence of rapid growth of the tumor with infiltration of the deeper structures formed to harden consistency. Coming to the investigation part of lipoma, ultrasonography of the part followed by fine needle aspiration cytology from the swelling for the confirmation. Suppose if the swelling is very big and if you suspect any sarcoma, then we have to go for core needle biopsy. If needed, MRI should be done. Okay, the ultrasonography followed by FNAC. Now tell me, what are the diagnostic points in regarding to the lipoma? On histopathology, the features which differentiate the lipoma from the normal adipose tissue are, remember, presence of fibrous capsule with fibrous septa, which are seen traversing through the adipocytes. Presence of fibrous capsule around the lipoma, which is encapsulated with fibrous septa traversing through the adipocytes. What are the various complications that you will see in lipoma? Myxomatous degenerations, calcification, pressure effects, fat necrosis. Usually this complication occurs if the lipoma is situated over the prominent areas. If they are subjected to the repeated trauma, then there might be chances for fat necrosis. Ulceration can also occur if there is any repetitive friction causing ulceration over the swelling. See, if there in submucous type of lipoma, there might be complication like intussusception followed by the obstruction, infection or hemorrhage. There is any trauma, hemorrhage can occur. Secondary infections can also occur. Lipomas are also pedunculated. Sometimes lipomas can also be pedunculated. This is the diagrammatic representation in the axilla. This is in between the buttocks towards the right side. The pedunculated lipomas with ulceration over the summit areas. Due to repeated friction over the swelling, ulceration can occur. This is the submucosa lipoma of the colon, may result in intussusception. Okay, this is the submucosa type of the lipoma. What is the treatment in lipoma? Simply the excision. In case of small lipomas, they can excise under local, but if they are large lipomas, needs general anesthesia. But recurrence chances might be 11% if not removed perfectly. The procedure in this procedure is skin incision should be made along the Langer's line. After that, the incision should be deepened till the capsule is reached. After that, the skin flaps should be raised anterior and posteriorly. Along with the capsule is dissected off from the underlying subcutaneous tissue. After that, it gets popped out. After removing of the lipoma, hemostasis, it should be sent for histopathological examination. Hemostasis should be acquired. Skin should be closed with interrupted silk or nylon. See in this picture, popping out of lipoma after the incision. Once you reach it and freed the capsule from the underlying subcutaneous tissue, the lipoma will get popped out. Now a small notes on liposarcoma. Common in retroperitoneum, thigh and back. Rapid growth will be there in liposarcoma. Tumors are very warm since they are vascular. Lipoma, as I discussed before, they arise from the adipose tissue or fat cells. See, in this liposarcoma arises from primitive mesenchymal cells called the lipoblast. Dilated veins seen over the swelling, huge dilated veins will be there. Since they are malignant, infiltration into the deeper planes so that there will be a fixicity, so that restriction of the mobility of the swelling will be there. Towards upward, skin fixation can occur, followed by fungation. Usually blood spread to lungs can be seen in liposarcoma. Some sarcomas there might be a lymphatic spread, most common type of spread. In liposarcoma it is most commonly through hematogenous spread to the lungs. See, remember this point, liposarcomas arise de novo and not in a benign lesion, benign lipoma, okay? Liposarcomas arise de novo but not from the lipomas. See, this histological side, liposarcoma histological slide, tumor showing univaculated and multivacculated lipoblast. The lipoblast. Univaculated or multivacculated, this is univaculated or multivacculated lipoblast with bizarre nuclei and also with myxoid changes. And in this slide, typical lipoblast you are seeing with multivacculated cytoplasm indenting the atypical nucleus. Okay. Important feature is multivacculated or univacculated lipoblast with bizarre nuclei. Okay. Then the four major histological varieties of liposarcoma are well differentiated type, myxoid liposarcoma, round cell liposarcoma, and pleomorphic type. Come again, the four types, histological varieties, well differentiated form, myxoid, round cell, and pleomorphic, atypical type. Okay. Then what under well differentiated liposarcoma resembles usually lipoma-like but contains uni or multivacculated lipoblast. Okay. This well differentiated liposarcoma usually resembles a lipoma but differentiating from that lipoma by the presence of uni or multivacculated lipoblast. The next type of histological variety, myxoid type of liposarcoma, the most common histological type, composed of monomorphic, fusiform or stellate cells representing primitive mesenchymal cells, lying dispersed in mucopolysaccharide rich ground substance, myxoid ground substance, Occasionally, tumor giant cells may be present. The prominent meshwork of capillaries forming chicken wire pattern in a conspicuous feature. Okay, this myxoid liposarcoma is the most common type of histological. Presence of chicken wire pattern is a conspicuous feature composing of monomorphic fusiform or stellate type of cells. The third type of histological variety, the round cell liposarcoma, composed of uniform round to oval cells having fine multivacuolated cytoplasm with central hyperchromatic nuclei. Remember, central hyperchromatic nuclei. Round cell liposarcomas usually may resemble a signet ring carcinoma, but mucin stains helps to distinguish between those two types. Okay. Last type of histological variety is the pleomorphic type of liposarcoma. This is highly undifferentiated and the most anaplastic type with worst prognosis. There are numerous large tumor giant cells and bizarre lipoblast. Okay, these four histological varieties of liposarcomas. If you get short notes about liposarcoma, you can write these four types, subtypes: well differentiated liposarcoma, myxoid liposarcoma, round cell liposarcoma, and pleomorphic liposarcoma. So in these liposarcomas, usually rapid growth, warmer, with highly vascular, infiltrating the deeper structures with fixicity, making the swelling immobile, and upwards, skin fixicity can occur with fungation. Usually they are blood spread to lungs. Now, regarding the prognosis in this liposarcoma, depending upon the location and as well as the histological type, the prognosis will depend. Okay, depending on the location and its histological type, the prognosis of the liposarcoma will depend. So in general, the well differentiated and myxoid varieties will be having excellent prognosis, but this pleomorphic undifferentiated type of liposarcoma will be having the poor prognosis. Round cell and pleomorphic varieties metastasis frequently to lungs, other visceral organs, and as well as the serosal surfaces. So in these all these four types, the round cell and pleomorphic variants will carry the worst prognosis, but well differentiated and myxoid type will carry the excellent prognosis. Now tell me, students, what are the main diagnostic points for lipoma? Answer me. At least one. Yes. Diagnostic points. Yes, slip sign. Okay. Okay. Slip sign, slow growing, depending on the location, trans illuminating. Okay. Localized. Okay. That's it. Presence of lobulation. So the surface is lobulated. Slip sign, soft swelling. As I discussed before, it's pseudo fluctuation, not true fluctuation. Transillumination positive, usually non-transilluminate, but there can be a positive illumination if the swelling is subcutaneous. So overlying skin may show the prominent veins when they are very large. Individually, what is the slip sign? if the edge of the lump, if you pressed with the finger, examination finger, suppose the index finger, the swelling will slips beneath the finger, beneath your examination finger. So usually this is called slip sign. Can be best demonstrated if the swelling is subcutaneous plane, called subcutaneous lipoma. Okay, is one of the pathognomic. Slip sign is one of the pathognomic for the lipoma. So what might be the cause for the lobulated surface? So lobulation is due to, as I discussed before, the lined by fibrous capsule with fibrous strands in between the fat cells extending diagonally. So the lobulation is due to the intervening fine strands of fibrous strata seen between the fat lobules. So the lobules will bulge out between the fibrous strands when pressure is applied over the swelling. Okay, this will cause the lobulated surface. What is the cause for the pseudofluctuation? Usually, the intracellular fat will be in a fluid state at our body temperature. So, therefore, the swelling will be soft and fluctuated. And since the swelling is soft, the fluctuation will be elicited in only one plane. If it is subcuticular. For a true cyst, one should elicit the fluctuation in two planes at right angles to each other, which is not possible in case of lipoma. So hence called pseudofluctuation. Okay, which cannot be possible in two planes at right angles in case of lipoma, hence called pseudofluctuation. The types of lipomas, what is fibrolipoma? So in these, the lipomas containing along with the fat cells, the fibrous tissue components are also present, called as fibrolipomas. Similarly, what is nevolipoma? In this type of lipoma, along with the fat cells, hemangiomatous tissue will be present. So there may be telangiectasias of the overlying skin and the swelling may be partially compressible. Neurolipoma, lipomas containing both fatty cells and neural components called neurolipoma. So this condition may be multiple and painful called neurolipomatosis. Remember that lipoma, the benign tumor, usually painless, non-tender, except angiolipoma. Then what is Debkem's disease, or also called adiposis dolorosa? In this, these swellings are painful, diffuse or nodular deposits of fat in the trunk or limb, commonly found in women, presenting over the trunk, buttocks and thigh. There will be no capsule around these fatty deposits. Hence, these are also called false lipoma. Thank you, students. Regarding lipoma, any doubts? Okay, some student is asking, please show slides from slip sign. Any doubt? If you press with the examination finger along the edge of the lump will slips beneath your finger. Okay, see the swelling will slips. It's coming away from the top of the finger, away from the finger. It is slipping beneath that finger. Got it? Any more doubts? Okay, ma'am. What is the cause for lobulation? Because of the presence of the fibrous septa traversing between the fat lobules, if you apply pressure over the swelling, the lobules bulge out between those fibrous strands, causing the lobulated surface. This is the cause for the pseudofluctuation. And like, yeah, I will show you. Is this the one? Slip sign, lobulation. Next side is cause for the pseudofluctuation. Is this the one you are asking? Okay. So, like in the true cyst, one can elicit the fluctuation in the two planes, in both the right angles to each other, which is not possible in case of lipoma, hence called pseudofluctuation. Fluctuation is also possible only if the swelling is large and subcutaneous plane, then there might be a possible for fluctuation in only one plane called pseudofluctuation. Shall I end the session, students?